crazy. You could judge that. You're too nice, Truk. I'm judging you.
I feel bad.
Hey, I'm your host Alexis.
And I'm your co-host Truk.
Sit back and relax because you're
in good company.
In this week's episode, we're going to be discussing a topic that me and Truk, we have a whole list of like potential topic ideas.
Oh, yeah.
We put this down probably
months ago.
No, truly months ago. Like a good 6 months ago. And we were like,
we didn't know how to frame it until recently.
We're going to be talking about how people overshare on the internet, and it's almost, they use their social media as like a diary or like a journal entry, and also the effects that come with that, because that's a digital footprint. Like you are now creating a digital footprint that could help you out maybe, but could also hinder you from having opportunities.
Right. Kind of just exploring the mark that people make on the internet.
Precisely.
And kind of how that affects their livelihood later down the line, and kind of exploring just social media.
Yeah, because like nothing is ever actually deleted. Somebody can save the videos, screen record it, hold on to it, post it.
And there are also a lot of archival websites.
That is so true.
And things just automatically upload to those websites for
like the way back.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're so right. So. Okay, and the first question I want to ask you, Truk, is when you post on social media, like what do you use it for? And are your accounts private or public?
Okay, so my account is public, and when I post on social media, I think my goal is to share aesthetic photos.
So you are public on Instagram?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because like I don't think you have other social medias. Like
yeah, okay, let's discuss.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, because I am public on Instagram, because to me Instagram is just a photo sharing app, and for me to share pretty pictures.
Okay.
And connect with my mutuals, connect with my friends, and catch up with others.
Right.
It's a Gen Z version of Facebook. So
so you because you're like, oh, I like to share with my mutuals, my friends, then you could be private technically, right?
Yeah, but I do like the gaining a following, because I've always, ever since I was young, I've always like followed different YouTubers, different influencers, right. And I just kind of like that there are people appreciating your content on an artistic level, rather than just, oh, this is my friend, so I'm gonna like the content. I like girly pops who follow me and like me for my outfits, who like me for my aesthetic posts, and like the lifestyle.
You know what's so interesting though?
Yeah,
I think that's like super cute, but I always looked at it as my image is gonna get stolen. I'm terrified of like weird guys like being way too fixated on my photos, and like I like to archive my posts or like go through my account, and my friends aren't screenshotting and like, oh, I'm gonna hold on to this, but like randos could. So I think it's so interesting because you're the mindset of I'm like just sharing like cute photos like for the girly pops, because I follow like girls with like really nice aesthetically pleasing feeds, and I don't know them, but it's like, oh, I like their outfits, I like their vibe, I gain kind of inspiration. And I, on the other hand, all I'm thinking is there are weirdos online and I'm scared. So I just think that's like opposite sides of it.
I think I have like a very like hopeful view that my content is reaching the people that I want to reach. I tend to block people that I notice that are a little bit weird on my page.
You get weird comments sometimes, or weird DMs.
Those are blocked. And I kind of just move on with life there. I mean, it's not harmless, but I think screenshotting a photo, I don't know what my stance on this is actually.
Really?
I actually don't know what my stance on this is, because like it's weird to have a screenshot of my pictures on your phone, but also don't we do the same thing with Pinterest girls? Like, why is it different?
That is so true. I kind of think I save Pinterest photos to like a board though. I'm not necessarily saving them unless I'm like trying to send you something, or like send a friend something like, oh, these are the nails I want, or this is the outfit I'm trying to recreate. But it's not like I just keep the photo to keep it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So I feel like it's a little bit different maybe.
I mean, yeah, but you're still like saving it in a way. I don't know. Let me gather my thoughts on this.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Now you're coming to the realization.
But I think it's just like men versus women, like a male gaze versus female gaze. And like I guess I am just like, oh, like my content's for the girly pops. So,
yeah, no, I get that, because if it was just like girls watch, like not even just girls, but kind of like people around my age who are women, liking my photos if I was public, I wouldn't mind it. I'd be kind of like, oh, thanks, because it just feels like it comes from a different place. But the fact that these men are out there just makes me so uneasy, especially with the way we now have AI, and people are saying they're literally taking videos or photos of them, they're putting it on like pornographic stuff. Right. Like, that's I'm so scared of that. New, like, that is new.
What's that word called? A new. Never mind. Why am I blanking so much today?
It's okay.
Goodness. But yeah,
no, that's my biggest thing. Like, I'm so scared of that. I feel some people are just comfortable being like kind of public figures or like having a following, and they gain more than not doing it. Like, they're all, oh, I'm giving opportunities, or brands are like shouting me out, I'm getting free stuff. I get that side of it. I think that's like the best part of it to me. But man, the world is a scary place. And I feel like, I think I was also kind of raised to be scared of the internet because there, even, you know how people would go on like Omegle and then they would get like flashed.
Oh,
is it Omega or Omegle? Like,
I think it's Omegle. Yeah, I've seen like that kind of content, but I never touched that site.
No, I never touched that
was
site.
Terrified of strangers and men on the internet.
I was not interested in it, but some people like get a kick out of it, and it's funny and it's fun. So I think it's just kind of to each their own when it comes to am I public, am I private, what I want to share with others.
Yeah, but like back to the whole thing, I think Instagram is essentially Instagram and YouTube are like my only public profiles. Everything else is on private, and even then I don't use social media like that. I guess like I'm not on Twitter, I'm not on Snapchat, I'm not on, that's real. What other sites are there? Like I'm private on TikTok,
Facebook, I guess.
I'm not on Facebook. Like I'm I get that. I get that. Me. But what about you? Like so we know your stance is private.
Yeah.
Accounts.
So my Insta, I actually think it's so funny because I have friends who are like, "Oh, Alexis, like I don't always like posting," because I post all the time. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I'm always posting. I like to, because my Instagram is almost like a scrapbook to me. Like, that's how I view it. So where the photo's going to go? My Instagram, of course. And I know other people who are my friends and peers we say they don't post like that because they're super critical. Like, I guess people like a wide range of people,
wider audience.
Yeah, wider audience, like seeing their photos and judging them or thinking whatever. And I'm like, I think it's more peaceful to be private because it's just people I really like and vibe with following me, and I'm never concerned about them sharing my stuff and talking bad about me or screenshotting or being weird. Like, I don't have to worry about people being weird with my content, and it just gives me like this sense of ease. I'm always archiving my stuff or like re-editing how like things look, and it doesn't, like, nobody is on top of me like, Alexis, why did you do this, or like why are you changing things, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's like you're just our friend.
It's
you're
doing
pure
things
vibes.
With your account. Like, it's pure vibes.
Yeah, I definitely think my take on Instagram is different because you know how I curate everything, but I like the act of making it pretty.
Me too, though.
So
no, like, a heavy on that.
I don't know.
No, I'm the same way, y'all. I always say if my Instagram was public, I'd be mad popular because it's very aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, 100%.
I kind of do stuff by seasons. It's not intentional, but you know, in the springtime I'm taking better photos, in the fall I'm taking, and I like doing that. I like wearing certain colors in certain seasons, but I like doing it for myself. I think because I understand, like, it would be nice, but also at the end of the day, because it feels really personal to me, I don't think others have the right to just see it. I think that's how it is. I'm like I have so many photos of myself. If I had less photos, maybe I wouldn't feel the same way. Because some people are public and they'll have like 2 photos, or they'll have no posts, and it's just they just use their account to do whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the fact that I curated this thing and I kind of want to share it, and for others to be like, oh my gosh, it looks pretty, good job.
No, I definitely think there are 2 sides to this argument. Like, I see your side and I feel like you see my side, and it's just sure. Like,
there's so much peace in the privacy of it, but I guess my stance is I want reach. Maybe?
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, because I know, like, you'll do stuff and you'll get like shouted out by brands sometimes, or get posted on their page, and I remember I DM'd you once. I'm like, girl, you're getting paid for this, right? Like, they're using your image. You look mad good. You're basically a free model. And all you got was a post? I don't know.
I guess. Yeah.
I really feel like sometimes brands take advantage of, like, young, pretty, stylish girls who are, like, wearing their clothes. Because they're like, oh, we'll post you. And that's really cool. But you should be paying me because I'm basically a free model. I really feel like you should have got paid something for that, like $100. Like, dang.
I guess.
Because, like, they're getting engagement from your photo.
Right. But I don't even think, because in the grand scheme of things, right, I'm not bringing them new customers, and that's what they're interested in.
I mean, you never know, though. Somebody's like, I love how she put that outfit together, I'm gonna go buy it. Okay, how do you think you navigate your online space? We kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Like what you use it for and what you do with it. I know, because we talked about this. We post on TikTok, guys, but InGoodCompany does not want to grow on TikTok. I don't know. It's like make a new account and start again. What I was saying was, we initially were kind of like put off from posting only because TikTok, you can gain a lot of attention and a lot of eyes really quick.
Yeah.
And that much attention on us, we're like, we don't know if we want that per se. Because I know you could totally eat up posting on TikTok, but you don't.
I don't.
And what's the difference between that and Instagram?
I feel like Instagram is more safe because people are less likely to be... Oh, well, okay, it's the internet. People are going to make crazy comments nonetheless. But I feel like in Instagram, it's expected to look presentable. And, like, what I've already curated makes sense with my page. On TikTok, nobody knows me there. And, like, I just don't feel like building a new image. And, like...
Oh, okay, that's curious.
And also, I feel like TikTok is more homey and more casual and more you can be free with your personality. And I don't want to put my personality on blast like that and kind of sell myself out.
Okay,
because I'm already selling my image. I don't want to sell my personality.
That's kind of real, because I talk about the fact that when I got this camera we're using, my mom was like, oh, you should totally make a YouTube channel. People would tell me, oh, like, you could be a YouTuber. Like, it'd be cool. Like, you would be doing stuff. You edit videos. And I was like, the idea of the internet having that much involvement in my personal life and the people in it and like what I'm doing makes me actually very uncomfortable.
And it's funny because we're doing a podcast where we share our views and our personal lives.
Because I talk about this. I'm like, a podcast to me has always felt different because it's like a designated space. We're talking about a topic we chose and we're sharing whatever we feel comfortable in. Like at the end of the day, we have the final edit. But something about sharing my personal life, because stalkers are real, something about sharing my personal life, like, and just my friends and what I'm doing and what I like. Yes, there could be audience who's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, I really feel like I'm a part of what's going on. But the other side is you feel like you can almost have an input in my own life because I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And also, like you go through a lot of stuff in your life. And because I almost feel like when people watch, like, your content, it's like a TV show. Like, it's real, but it's not.
Right.
So
there's a disconnect.
Right. Like, a certain person you're friends with, you're not friends with anymore. Why aren't you friends with them?
Yeah.
And they need to address things. And I'm like, I don't want to address that. Yeah. So I will edit videos in good times, and I'll send it to my friends who were in the video. Because it's like, I still want to memorialize this. But to the internet?
Right.
No. This is all you're going to get from me for now. But do you feel like you've been careful with what you've shared online?
I feel like all I've shared is my image and only recently the podcast with my opinions, because I don't leave comments on other people's posts. And on TikTok I would repost here and there, but like that my account's private nonetheless, so it doesn't really reach a far audience. So I feel like I have been fine on the internet. And even before InGoodCompany with my previous YouTube channel, I wasn't going out of
you were like oversharing.
I wasn't oversharing anything about my life because I was under an anonymous figure, if that makes sense. Like, I was playing with toys. Like, my toy was my avatar essentially. So it's like nobody knew who was behind the screen
until you did that little face reveal.
Yeah, you're correct. But like, my content wasn't related to me. My content was related to the art that I was making.
I got you.
And there was a separation in that.
I feel like I've also been careful what I shared because, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy I did not have access to the internet. Like, the internet, when I mean the internet, I mean like all these different social media platforms when I was like in middle school or whatever, because I totally had Musical.ly. Don't get me wrong. I was making my little Musical.lys, but I didn't post them. And if I posted those Musical.lys, I would be horrified. There'd be compilation videos, most cringe Musical.lys from 2020, whatever, and that would have been me. Because I just think certain things don't need to be shared with the internet, but in the moment you don't have the foresight to understand that. So everything I did was private. I didn't even post on Instagram until I was 14, and my Instagram at first it was weird. And it wasn't even weird. It was what I thought Instagram should look like. Curated photos of my drinks and
yeah.
Oh my goodness, like, bless your soul. But it was chill because it was only my friends. It did not matter.
Yeah.
If I'm getting 2 likes a photo, nobody's seeing that. And that I felt like I could grow and change in the comfort of my own time and space, and I didn't have to be feared of being judged. Like, social media, they judge so much.
No, wait, can I say something?
Yeah.
Before starting this podcast, I was told that I should be careful stating my opinions because I am so young and I'm so subject to change.
Right.
Especially with this podcast. They're like, you don't know what is going to be memorialized and what is going to be brought up again in the future. And I guess I move forward with this podcast thinking I'm knowing myself where I'm not going to be a hateful person, and I feel like I could validate my opinions moving forward. But it's just like in the back of my mind sometimes when I start yapping in our pod.
And can I say, I almost feel like people project their fears onto others. So, because when we first started this podcast, I remember you telling me about that, and I was like, girl, we could take down the episode. Like, I wasn't gonna, like, if you were freaking out, then it was whatever. But I also
really appreciate for you.
Thank you. I really do feel like, though, at the end of the day, if we're not talking about how we currently feel with what's going on, what's the point? Like, I don't want to be so afraid of sharing my opinion because I know it's not hateful. It doesn't hurt another group of people. It's just how I feel on certain topics. I actually really like the idea of immortalizing how I felt about something in a moment.
It's like an archive. But once again, it goes back into what you said earlier about how some people treat social media like a diary. This is our version of a diary, but in a more curated and safe way.
Okay, I do feel that, though, because there was one episode in particular where I was watching it back, and I'm like, oh my God, I overshared. But then I was like, you know what? I don't, like, it's out there. This is my truth.
Right.
I feel comfortable with our audience. Like, it wasn't like keeping me up at night. In the moment, I was like, oh, maybe I said too much. But then I'm like, it's chill, it's whatever. And I do feel like that because the podcast to me, as I said, it feels sort of like we're venting diary entry, but not really, because I don't know. I just talking to my mom about this. She was like, you sometimes may feel like you overshare because you're talking to Truk, and you're comfortable talking to Truk, and you're forgetting there's a camera and there's an audience who's also going to be hearing and knowing about your conversation. But I think for the most part we've done a really good job.
I think so too, and we've made it clear where we can just cut anything that we dislike.
Because that's the thing, we just cut. If we don't like it, we don't have to do it in one take,
and we both communicate about what we want 100%. And don't want and on the internet.
Because we do this, we also create a safe space for our guests to talk about what they want, because we don't we don't hinder what our guests say, because we already can vibe check them. We already know they're not going to come out here saying something wild, right? But also I like that they feel comfortable to give their opinion and talk about a topic that they like, and at the end of the day, if they said something they were like, oh, I don't want that on there, we would just cut it out. It's never a big deal. I think we move with intention, and I really 100%. Like that we have curated that space where we can healthily experience our world, right? And like, you will edit it, and then I will edit it, and then like it has double eyes on people. Eyes are going on it, and that's the thing. I think the difference is sometimes people get online and they just post a video and they don't really think about it. They don't think about the impact. They don't think about what's going to do, and it could be hateful. It could be ignorant. It could just be like very embarrassing to look back on, and it could hurt your job opportunities. I've seen people do videos where they're like, oh, not the digital footprint is actually real. Did you think it was a myth? Right. Did you think it was a myth? Y'all, they check these things.
Sometimes I would go on social media and I see the comments people make, and I'll be like, ooh.
No, really.
Like, I don't know if I would say that.
Oh my God, y'all. Sometimes you have got me.
And that's why I don't comment.
And to be honest, sometimes, because I know people post and delete, I get so petty, I be screenshotting. And I'm like, when I find you, when you want to get a job, I'm coming out the woodworks.
But there's such a big layer of anonymity on TikTok and Instagram and social media. There's that. Even if you did screenshot, how would you get to them?
No,
there's no way.
I'm talking about people that like I don't know like that, but like somehow I'm like, I could get it back. Mutuals, but not mutuals. Like a mutual somebody else.
I see.
And I'm like, oh, you're moving weird. I got you. I'm clocking you. Oh my goodness. No, but real talk though, I've seen a lot online right now because there is a content creator, Fanita. I don't know.
Oh yes. Oh my goodness.
And that, y'all, by the time we post this, it'll probably be way old news. But I wanted to give a little insight because she's been posting and talking about, initially it was like the pay gap in between like white creators and black creators, which I think is an important topic.
Which is an important topic.
People should be talking about that, right?
Right.
But then people were bringing up the nuance of you've done some kind of shady stuff, and people might necessarily have your back full weight because you didn't have our back, right, quote unquote. And it's been like a post and delete or post, and people are like, sometimes you just need to take a step back from the internet, and I think that's very true. And I think also when content creation is everything, that's how you make your money, that is your life, you feel the need to, I can't stop posting.
And I get that mindset. Like, I understand where they're coming from, but, you know,
take a little break, baby.
A little break.
I think for me, that's why content creation, like when we go on our podcast, it's for fun. It's not our job. It'd be really amazing if we made money off of this.
Hey guys,
right
we're
now,
open to sponsorships.
Literally, what do they do to get more money there? I'm trying to think of what people will be like, and go support my something in the
Patreon.
Yeah, should we get a Patreon?
Girl, we gotta make extra content for Patreon.
So real. The point of the matter is, people definitely, we feel like you gotta just touch some grass sometimes. You just gotta get off the internet. I think that is it, and that's why it's like, if InGoodCompany were to make money, which I feel like it could, right?
I believe in us. I believe in us. We're manifesting.
It wouldn't be everything. Like, I would still have like ways to get money or stuff outside of this. Because if I needed to take a step back, we would take a step back.
Because we both have our own lives outside of InGoodCompany.
Precisely.
And like, InGoodCompany is our way of experiencing and kind of like processing our lives. So it's not everything.
It's like an outlet in a sense. It's to bring joy to my life. It stops bringing joy, then I'm not doing it. And that's I think my biggest thing. Unfortunately, social media becomes so encompassing that you have to stay on the trends and you have to stay in the conversation, and it's like, dang, I can't even decompress.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's exactly what's going on in this situation, but I do feel when I see people oversharing, like that one dude who was like,
hello,
I slept with my brother. Huh? The video is gone. I never saw it, but everyone was stitching it like, what did he just say? Apparently it was his stepbrother, but still. And then like they were saying, oh, and it changed his sexual orientation. It was wild.
I think he was experiencing his sexuality and he's exploring it at the moment, but
your brother?
I don't know. But it's not my place to judge, but
you're crazy. You could judge that. You're too nice, Truk. I'm judging you.
I feel bad because here's the thing. He's going through an emotional moment right now.
We didn't watch the original video, though.
I didn't.
We don't actually know what played out.
We don't.
Incest is not okay. Truk is not going to say it, but I am. Stepbrother or not. Please. There are lots of other people out there.
Okay, outside of the action, though, he is going through an emotional moment, and he's finding an outlet via social media.
And he should have found it via his diary. Because I promise you, who's hiring you after that?
I don't think jobs should disqualify you for your beliefs, because at the end of the day, you're just working for them.
Okay.
But I understand, like, values. But
I feel like there's kind of nuance to that.
There's nuance.
There's nuance
because I'm stopping.
I feel if you work in a certain area and you have, because like, okay, for example, let's say you're on the internet and you say something super racist about black people, and then you work at a homeless shelter with mostly black people, you cannot be hired there.
Yeah, you're right.
You see what? Yeah. The way your views are going to, they're going to start to.
It's like. Your identity.
They're going to start to mess up your views can start to affect your job and affect the people who are just trying to get help via your job.
You know what's interesting though? How people begin formulating their identity on social media rather than themselves.
Oh,
and
my
that
goodness.
kind of makes that weird rap of like, who am I? And like, what do I represent? Do I just represent what my social media represents? Because there's that layer that people aren't able to see behind the scenes.
That's so true.
With your identity.
And I think that's why we're very honest on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, what you see is what you get. That's how I am. Like, I'm not filtering myself. The only thing we sometimes do is edit parts out because, like, we just start rap. It doesn't make sense. We're just yapping. We're just yapping about nothing. And it doesn't make sense to the conversation.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, I want to be authentic to who I am, but not to the point where I am going to feel, I suppose, like myself as a person is being targeted if people had to say something. Because one thing I appreciate, you could comment what I say. No, because we posted clips and people have been like, nah, I don't agree with this, blah, blah, blah. And they've gone in, but never on our looks, okay? And I appreciate that.
Wait, that's so random.
No, because I mean, think about it. I'd rather, if my podcast, I'm voicing my opinion. You could disagree with what I'm saying, but I'm happy that's the focus. Like, we haven't gotten hate comments about, and you big eye looking. I don't know.
You're so crazy.
I mean, I'd much rather have hate, not even hate
on having a discussion and a debate on your opinion,
and people not agreeing with my opinion rather than coming at how I look. And I think because our thing is so like discussion based, and I'm not making money off my looks. I'm not making money off like my style piece. That's all very subjective, and opinions are too. But it's like, I feel really strong in my opinion. I'm open to changing it. But at the end of the day, thank you for coming at my opinions and not out my face.
Woo! Shout out to our audience.
Shout out to our audience.
No, for real. Like, I feel like all of the constructive like feedback and like different perspectives that we've received have been very cordial. Yeah. And like, people have communicated their own personal perspectives in a very respectful and logical manner, which I truly do appreciate.
No, I really do appreciate
because
that.
it allows me to think on a more nuanced level, and like see the other side and kind of like
rather than like, oh, this argument's like very weak because why are they starting with da 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 and not what I'm saying? Yeah, because I just did notice that, and it's been a relief in a sense.
It's been great to see.
Yeah, no, it has been really interesting because finding people who are watching our content who don't agree, it's like, oh, okay, we're really spreading our wings.
It's interesting to see what the other perspective is like because it's not my lived experience.
Precisely. No, and true. Okay, one of the last questions before we wrap up is that if you were to use social media back in the day before you had the knowledge of digital footprints and their impact, do you think you would have used it differently?
I feel like I would be a little bit more private. I'm very happy with the public image that I put out. But I think for some other aspects, I would maybe use like an alternate name on just random sites.
I could see that. Okay, can I say, I feel my biggest thing is I actually really miss the simplicity of going out and not fearing that you could do something and people are going to post it and then make money off of it and then laugh at you, because the amount of people who get posted without their consent is actually wild to me. And people come with their own narratives and they come to their conclusions, or even like you could be online, you could say something and people could diagnose you. Oh, I think you had this and that and this and that. It's like, why are we so comfortable doing this? I feel like the lack of respect for boundaries, like people are getting mixed up. I don't understand what's going on here. I don't like that at all. I feel like it's actually disrespectful. I'm in public, I'm not asking to be recorded and then put whatever. Or you have people like that one woman who got blasted because she was in the locker room and she made fun of this old lady's body and recorded and posted it on the internet. This was years ago.
I don't remember, but
y'all, people are weird. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's just, what are we doing? Like, actually, what are we doing? And that's why I do feel like you post something, you get backlash, and then you can't handle the backlash because I don't think anyone's really used to being hated on by many thousands of people. But also, that is so internet coded.
Right. It is so chronically online.
It
and
really
it's like,
is.
I don't know, because there's like a different breed of people online and so many different niche communities that I will never know about.
That
like,
is so real.
I had this thought recently where I'm like, I am in these communities of like people with like millions of subscribers, but there's another channel with millions of subscribers that I've never heard about.
Oh,
but that's
goodness,
a million
that's
people.
My biggest thing. I will have no idea who somebody is. Like, someone they could have 2 million followers. But they're like, basically a completely different bubble than me.
We're in a totally completely different social circle, a different social community.
Because I was gonna say, I know when I was in middle school, Superwoman was super popular. I didn't know who Superwoman was. My friends were like, "Did you watch the new Superwoman video?" Not even middle school; it's elementary school. No. Who is she?
Like the YouTuber Superwoman.
Yes.
Because I was like,
I thought they were talking about Superwoman. I'm like, oh.
You were talking about superheroes earlier, so that's why I was
LOL.
like, that's why I was thinking
no.
Okay.
Or even like,
I know who Superwoman is.
There was one YouTuber you brought up, and I was like, oh, that sounds nice. She made good content. I watched her, but I didn't know her name. I just remembered her content. Yeah. And I think that can happen a lot. Or even like you start to, because I know kind of shifting. When I was younger, used to love watching BuzzFeed content. They
oh my god,
really
I love BuzzFeed.
And I used to work. I used to want to work there so bad.
Me too. That's why
I
we're
feel
both in content
Who
creation.
didn't want to work at BuzzFeed? But
Heavy.
truly, I feel like whoever you're watching can have a huge impact on how you perceive things and your views.
Yes.
Because I was watching somebody and then somebody else said something. And I'm like, wait, people actually think like that? Because I'm in my own bubble. I follow people who have similar views to me, and I'm thinking we all think the same. We don't. There's a whole other side, and that's why sometimes I like watching like commentary and people talking about vast discussions. Like, I'm not watching red pill content, but I'll watch people talk about red pill content just to get like a perspective.
Get a little taste. One thing I'm really interested in is like I love seeing what different people's curated algorithms look like on their For You page, their Instagram thing, their YouTube or their Instagram homepage, YouTube recommendation page, because it's like what draws you into these content. Because I saw this TikTok a while ago about this guy saying like, oh yeah, like my YouTube recommendations full of Jubilee, but then one of my friends is like getting a bunch of science analysis videos.
And
I think it's so interesting because it like says a lot about,
it's a reflection of kind of what you're into.
Because
my For You page, because I be thinking everybody's got the same For You page. They do not.
No.
My For You page is like a lot of baking content because I love
that's super cute.
that's actually my entire Instagram feed is baking content. And literally horoscopes. I'm being
horoscopes for me is like drawing. More fun.
Ooh, and drawing, like drawing content, and then like merch, random like small businesses I follow, and like baking, and then like that's I'm telling you, and then my friends, and then like a cute style, like Pinterest coded.
A lot of my like Instagram homepage and like reels are a lot of fashion content, a lot of nails, makeup, a lot of Asian food, Asian related things, a lot of travel. In DC, because that's like
I get a little bit
like
of that.
I get a lot of like recommended like restaurants nearby. So mine is more of like lifestyle content and like curating image, and I get a lot of like art for like the cartoons I watch, like Winx Club.
Yes. I follow so many accounts who just draw anime.
No, you're real.
They're so good. Like I'm obsessed. No, but okay. Really, as we like really do wrap up the discussion, I was gonna say quickly, I know my TikTok page is really, it's people talking about like current events, like news related stuff.
Same.
It's baking. It's like, I'm trying to also think what else. Okay, it's also like, it's so funny because the way it'll be one creator talking about something, and then it'll be other creators like spitballing what this creator said, and it's like I'm getting like 10 different takes on the same subject. And I'm like, this is fun.
It is super fun to see people's perspective, but I worry for myself sometimes that I am swayed by what is in front of me.
Oh my goodness.
And because
because
people would say so and so, and I'll be like, oh, that makes sense, that's logical. And then a Stitch comes in and they would disagree, and I'll be like, wait a minute, am I a bad person?
A lot of people do that though, because people talk about how they'll like a video or they'll comment something. I remember when I was a kid, this Austin Mahone song called Yeah with Pitbull, and I was like, this is so good. I love this song.
Like,
Yes, I was like elementary school, y'all, and I was like, this is fire, and I'm dancing to it. I'm having a good time. And this was back when like I was buying stuff off iTunes, so $1.29. I'm committing, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. But then I'm like, let me look at the reviews. Everyone's like, this is the worst song I ever heard. This song sucks. I wouldn't spend 10 cents on this. And I said, what? But I already bought it, and then I'm still jamming to it. But in the back of my head, I'm like, nobody likes this song but me. But I do get swayed, or like somebody be going through something, I'm like, dang, I wish I was going through that just to experience their mindset. It's like, girl, no you don't. Why would you say that? Because I think they just have such confidence with it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I like that.
I think right now, like at our age, we're still like grasping different perspectives and still like putting our opinions. Because I feel like you're a lot more strong with your opinions.
I am, because there's something that I'm dead
and that's very
firm
admirable. And like
Thank
that's
you.
very admirable.
I'm very firm on it. I'm not changing how I feel about this, but I can be swayed and I can be open to conversation. But also I feel like some stuff is like morals, and I'm like, nah, like I'm cool. I don't need to hear your opinion.
So I'm still like taking in perspective.
I feel like sometimes I'll be like, Truk, I'll like slay out a situation, and you're like, Alexis, you're right. Maybe I should have a stronger stance.
Maybe I should. You're right.
Yeah, and I think that's just how kind of people influence one another.
Mm-hmm.
So you're open, and then you're open. That's I think the one thing. But guys, we really are wrapping up now because we have been yapping. You can tell we've been having a good time. But True, do you have a TikTok, or do you want me to do my song first, or?
You can do your song first.
Okay, guys. So for the past week, I know I'm late to this because this album dropped probably a few weeks ago, maybe even longer. Probably longer, I'm not gonna lie. But Tyrant by Beyonce and Dolly Parton, very catchy. I'm like, wait, I heard it. I swear, I be hearing songs on like edits, and I'm like, what's this? And I'm like, I'm jamming, I'm vibing. So then I've been jamming and vibing all week. It's been fun. So
wait, love that for you.
Yeah, it's giving baddie vibes. Okay, but your turn.
So my TikTok is a little bit more on the fun side. It's not like anything serious. But in the vein of everybody's in our little bubble, I think it's really funny. This TikTok I saw where this girl was talking about how she works in corporate now, and sometimes she would use internet slang in the office with her coworkers, and she'd be like, slay, bet. And it's so funny to me because I do the same thing in my office, and it's just like a fun little quirky thing because even then I see in different communities, like the gaming community has their own slang that is different too, and I just think language is just really fun.
And I also do feel that a lot of like current Gen Z slang, it was AAVE, and it's like if you're in Black communities, you know what we're saying. Yeah. But then also if you're in very like corporate communities and you're not on the internet, like you're not gonna get it. On, so it's also very curious. And I'll be like, wait, because I'll say something, and my mom was like that's not new, and I'm like, well, it's new for us. Like I don't know what to tell you. Yeah,
but it's like things like language shifts and moves and morphs all the time.
Heavy on that. But I think that was fun.
Today was fun. I
think
we need to cut off a lot though.
We do
to make sure that the content
no truly
consistent.
No truly. But I want to say shout out to Bobby.
Shout out to Bobby for real.
Yeah, no, really. Shout out to Bobby and shout out to the humanities department.
Woo!
And guys, if you don't know, we actually have all our episodes on Spotify. So
yeah, please check us out. You can listen to us while you're on your car.
Yes, the link is going to be in the description box because I don't know why we never thought to mention that.
Because it was like Spotify was added down. Like a couple episodes.
Yeah, but guys, but all our episodes are on
They're
Spotify.
up now.
So I hope you enjoy watching it here, listening to there. But bye, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.